I've always been rather impressed with how much time and energy people put into bullying and gossip. I still remember and often reflect on the first time I really recognized that bullying was happening. I was in, I don't know, fourth or fifth grade, I think. And there was these two kids bullying another kid with special needs. I just remember being very instantly angered by it and wanting to do something about it. My memories on this experience are pretty hazy because it was so long ago, but I do remember kind of approaching the situation and being like, you guys have to stop. And like little fourth or fifth grade Clara is not that intimidating. But I remember just desperately wanting it to end and wanting to help that other kid. Another distinct memory I have of bullying is approximately in seventh grade. There is this girl named Desiree who hated my guts. For me, in seventh grade, being called the B word was really, really painful. And so she would pass me notes or write notes to other people that were really just mean. And she was like, psst, 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 do that in the halls and stuff. I told my dad about it. He said, oh, we'll get her a Christmas present. And I was like, Dad, no. But I did. I picked her out a little Christmas present. We were at the store. I don't remember what it was. And I don't remember how I got it to her, but I either like left it in her bag with like, hey, Merry Christmas from Clara. Or maybe I left it on her desk. I don't remember. After she got that present, she never bothered me again. I was bullied again when I was 21 to 22 years old while I was serving a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in the Neuquén, Argentina mission. There was a sister missionary who just had it out for me. She just hated my guts. We didn't spend time together. We literally didn't work together. We were never in the same area. This example of bullying was very odd because we were on a mission. I started hearing rumors about myself. I kept hearing these rumors even after I got home, where I met this kid like a year after I got home. And he was like, you're hermano Toronto. I heard about you. And I was like, oh gosh, what'd you hear? And he was like, oh, just, they were not good things. And I was like, of course. Well, sorry that you had to hear that. My final companion was simply amazing. However, I was a little nervous about getting her because she came from this Hermano Rosas. Hermano Rosas was her trainer. But she came to my area. She was super nice, super hardworking. And by the last week of our 6 weeks together, she approached me and she was like, everything I heard about you is a lie. And I was like, thank you for saying that, but what do you mean? And she said, well, before coming to you, Hermana Rosas told me that you dressed immodestly, you didn't work, you were flirting, you were here to get a husband, you were a snake, and just burst into tears. I was just devastated that this other missionary went so far out of her way to like try and ruin a companionship with somebody. I was devastated. Though I am really grateful that my companion at that time was able to see through the lies and the rumors and the gossip. Needless to say, I had hoped that once I got married and had kids and was like officially in the adult world, I would be done with dealing with gossip and rumors and bullying. Unfortunately, that is not proven to be true. The first instance was fourth grade, second was seventh grade, third was my mission, so in my 20s. So now I'm in my 30s. I've got 2 kids, married. You think we'd be chill, right? You think the women would be chill. But alas, that is not the case. As it turns out, women are relentless. And women are, in my opinion, our own worst oppressors. Women have always been in the habit of pushing each other down, but that is a topic for another day. Just this year, like 2 months ago, I had a friend who decided that she did not want to be my friend anymore, which is fine if you leave it at that. When I asked her what was up, she basically told me that I didn't make her feel good and that we had different goals in life, even though I don't need to get into that. However, she took it too far. She has lost me clients. She stole our business that we shared together. She has slandered my name in the public. She has gossiped about me. And she's dragged my 4-year-old son's name through the mud, which I just don't bring kids into it. So I texted her on a Tuesday. I got an answer on a Wednesday. In the answer, she told me the things, and then she said, but it's okay. I'll give you time to mourn. Heart hands. And I was like, okay. So I just didn't respond. That was not a great idea. By Saturday, she started harassing me. I came back to 7 text messages, an email, a telegram, a Instagram, Facebook message, and a LinkedIn request. And she texted my husband, and then she showed up at my house, which is like pretty harassy. And like the reason she did that is because she suddenly decided that she really just needed these hand-me-downs that she gave me. I didn't respond to her on that Saturday because I had a lot going on, and I was like, I can't deal with this right now. I don't even think I read the messages. And by Monday morning, I got another text where she was like, I'm going to call the police on you. You're stealing, blah, blah, blah. And I had a complete emotional breakdown. On the following Tuesday, her 3-year-old daughter came and yelled at me in public at a library, which was super duper uncomfortable. I didn't like that at all. So needless to say, it got out of hand pretty quickly. Got a little escalated there real quick. I filed for the restraining order on Monday, and restraining orders really only go through if there's like a threat of violence. And since there wasn't an imminent threat of violence, it got denied. However, they did serve her and I with a notice that said if she continued with unwanted contact, that it would, anyway, they served her with a notice about stuff. That instantly stopped the communication, which has been actually quite the blessing. Thus, all of my ideals that having adult friends would mean less drama were squashed. I learned that even with adult friends with children, drama can be anywhere. So the real question still remains, when you are bullied with, bullying or gossip, how do you react? And how did I deal with it? As I sit here recalling these 4 experiences, one core memory about bullies comes to mind. Nelson from The Simpsons. If you watch The Simpsons, you all know, Nelson, right? He's the bully of the whole TV series. There was an episode of The Simpsons where we learn Nelson's backstory. They show Nelson in his home, which is dilapidated and unkept, and we see Nelson's dad portrayed as a bully. He's an alcoholic. He is not kind to Nelson. He doesn't show and demonstrate appropriate behavior to Nelson. So once you see that, you understand that Nelson is a bully because A, he doesn't have anything else modeled for him, and B, his home life sucks. And I remember when I first saw that episode, it really stuck in my mind that bullies are inherently unhappy people. In the times where I have seen bullies and where I have been bullied, I always get very curious about why. What is going on in their lives? Why are they so unhappy? And why do they feel the need to take that out on people around them? I've noticed a lot of times in my own situations and those of my friends that bullies often lash out at people who they feel threatened by, whether that is jealousy or that the person might threaten their perceived reality. So the question still remains, outside of knowing that bullies are inherently unhappy people, how did I deal with it? To be honest, I cried a lot. Ugly cried, actually. I cried a lot. I really do have a very hard time with confrontation. It is very uncomfortable for me, and my initial instinct is to avoid it at all costs. I definitely, like most people, don't like feeling rejected. So I cried and I mourned the loss of a friendship. Fortunately, on Monday, when she threatened to call the police on me, I had a call with my coach. She helped me process my feelings in a very specific way where you're able to filter out your feelings versus facts versus circumstance versus assumptions so as to bring the situation back down to reality. The first thing we did in my call was she held space for me. She helped me get into a space, a headplace of recentering myself, let me express the feelings that I was having. She invited me to hold my heart like this. And what this does for us is it helps our hearts feel centralized. It brings us back to the moment because you can't really hug your heart. You know when you're like really sad and like you get a hug and it feels good, but nobody can hug your heart? This is a way that you can hug your heart. You just hold your hands over it, feel it, let it calm down, take some deep breaths, and allow yourself the time you need to really calm down and feel the peace of holding your heart, giving your heart a hug. After we did this for a while, after we held, both of us, she held space for me, which allowed me to get into holding space for myself. We started to do the discernment process. when I have to look at my notes for this part, after I brought my heart back to the present and was able to really feel my feelings and process things logically, we went through this process to help remember and discover what I can control, which is myself. And you do this by identifying the circumstance, the thought, the feeling, the action, the result. Circumstance, thought, feeling, action, result. And as you do those 5 things, which it does take practice, you are able to really just break down the situation to a manageable place. It is one of the best ways I now know how to help center myself and realize what is within my control and what is without my control. In this situation, I was able to identify the circumstance, which was said friend no longer wants to be friends. The thought, I did something wrong. I initially blamed myself and I was like, what did I do? What did I do? The feeling, mourning, sad, betrayed. The action is what I can control, which is my actions. And the result was the loss of a friendship. This process can take a lot of time, and you sometimes have to do it multiple times because for me at least, I'm still pretty new to it. It can be really hard to discern between all these things to really get down to the nitty-gritty. But it was very calming, and I was able to see the role I was playing, and I was able to truly begin to process it all. As you can probably tell, I am still processing it, but I am much more in my power as I'm doing so because I'm not participating in whatever it is. This whole process also set me up for success when I got confronted by this friend's kid at the library. I was sitting there when all of a sudden the friends that I was there with were like, oh, hey, look, there's so-and-so. And I looked up and I was like, oh gosh. Like I said, I don't like confrontation. I'm not good at it. And my friend's child ran up to me and she goes, you don't like my mom in the library. Because of the work I'd done the day before with my coach, I was able to look at this child and say, that is not true. Because the fact is I don't hate that friend. I don't. I feel bad for her. I don't trust her anymore, but I don't hate her. After her kid yelled that at me, this kid ran back to her mom and was like, Mom, Clara's over there. And I was just like, oh, that's so embarrassing. And though I'm not good at confrontation, I do feel as if I was able to stay in my power during this confrontation. I didn't react. I didn't underreact, overreact. I just said my piece, which is that is not true, and left it at that. Because of my session with my coach the day before, I was able to handle this bizarre interaction and confrontation with this child. And I was able to begin coping with everything outwardly in a much healthier way. Even in the beginning, as all of this was going down, I realized that I did not want to stoop to her level. So I had already made the decision to involve nobody unless the person got involved themselves. And so when I had people asking me what happened, my answer was consistently, I don't know. Furthermore, I have actually allowed this experience to draw me closer to my other amazing, abundant, powerhouse woman friend. I have spent the last couple of months trying to hang out with them and express my gratitude for them. The ones that don't live near me, I have reached out to talk to and continue to express my gratitude because nothing makes you grateful for the amazing women in your life like being bullied. So even though I was gossiped about, bullied, and dragged through the mud by somebody I considered a friend, and so even though that all happened, I still allowed myself to stay in my power, maintain my peace, and not stoop to her level. I didn't engage through her insults, her accusations, her online cyberbullying, none of it. And I allowed this experience to help me grow into a power woman. I cannot stress enough how grateful I am and was for my coach in that situation. I am grateful for her ability to help me stay in my power. I am grateful that she encouraged me to be my highest self and embrace that part of me even more fully. Life would be needlessly challenging without her. And, one of the things I always say to people who don't understand the point of a life coach is, if you want to really succeed at a triathlon, or you want to succeed at a marathon, or you want to learn how to play tennis, what do? You hire a coach. You hire somebody to help you get better. So why don't we do that for life, for motherhood, for friendships, for everything in life? And that is why I become a life coach myself, is because I am This situation with this friend is not singular. It doesn't just happen to me. It happens to all of us. Now that it's happened to me and I've went through it with my coach, I'm so much more capable of helping somebody else through a situation that's similar, you know? And that's why I'm a coach now. I want to continue empowering women. I want to help empower women the way that I was empowered by my coach. I want to pass that forward, pay it forward. And I truly believe that is my calling. And I was feeling that that was my calling as I was going through the process. It was a really cool experience, honestly. The main takeaway from that experience with this friend, and also all the other people where I didn't even have these tools in my pocket or a coach to rely on, how we react, how we think is 100% up to us. I hope you have a really beautiful day, and I hope this message helps you through whatever you're going through. Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video. Please share it with anybody you might know who might need this help. Subscribe to my channel. I am going to continue posting uplifting content for women to help all of us women be elevated and empowered.